Imagine for a moment that your very genes hold echoes of encounters with unknown people. A striking example comes from the so-called Dragon Man skull found in China, which was once dubbed a new human species, only to be revealed by DNA and protein analysis as a Denisovan relative. This reconstructed face of an ancient cousin is a haunting reminder that what we thought was myth can be real. The Denisovans were only known through fragmented DNA until we found their bones, and now Homo longi proved to be one of them. Genomic studies are turning up even more mysterious faces in our family tree. Researchers found that people in Southeast Asia and Melanesia carry whole sections of DNA that did not match any currently known human species. One report explains that genomes of Andaman Islanders and Melanesians contain large DNA fragments unlike anything from Neanderthals, Denisovans, or any other recognized human group. Could these bits of DNA be the legacy of yet another archaic human we've never identified? Perhaps an ancient Homo erectus in Asia, a hominin we know from fossils but have no genetic record of, or an entirely unknown lineage. Without bones to test, this ghost population can only be glimpsed through its imprint in our genomes. Machine learning analyses bolster this spooky picture. A 2019 study used artificial intelligence on the human genome and detected traces of a ghost population interbreeding with ancient Homo sapiens in Asia and Oceania. The algorithm scanned our DNA and found a pattern. Even after subtracting all the Neanderthal and Denisovan segments, there was still something in the genome that was highly divergent. In other words, a leftover patch of very strange DNA remained, as if another extinct human relative left its fingerprint in our genes. Moreover, this ghostly signal fits with a real fossil. Researchers note that if such a ghost population existed, it might have resembled the famous ex-woman of Denisova Cave, a 90,000-year-old girl born of a Neanderthal mother and a Denisovan father. The algorithms essentially predicted her face from our genomes. Looking at the bigger picture, geneticists point out that each of us has a few stretches of DNA that stand out as different from most of humanity, signaling ancient ghost ancestors in our past. Early analyses estimated roughly 5% of European genomes came from an archaic source later identified as Neanderthals. Intriguingly, they also detected about 5% in West Africans from a lineage no one recognized. More recent studies make this concrete. When scientists sequenced ancient DNA from two children buried in a rock shelter in Cameroon, they found roughly 2/3 of their ancestry came from one source and 1/3 from another, including a long-lost ghost population that we didn't even know existed. Genome analysis of living West Africans confirms it. Up to 20% of their DNA appears to come from a completely unknown archaic African ancestor. Traces of this phantom population emerged only after careful genomic comparisons, and modern Africans carry the legacy of a mysterious human group living 500,000 years ago. So the idea that our ancestors only encountered people identical to themselves is wrong. They ran into many some of whose names we have yet to discover. In Asia, the fossil evidence echoes this complexity. A recent study of 300,000-year-old teeth from China found a mosaic of features. The teeth show a mix of Homo erectus and modern human traits, as if those populations had interbred. Even skeletons from the same site display an odd jumble of features from different lineages, suggesting multiple human groups mingled there in deep time. And the region's archaeology hints at early humans too. For example, stone tools found in Indonesia date back over 1 million years, indicating hominins in the islands long before Homo sapiens arrived. Every time we uncover a new human species, such as the tiny hobbit Homo floresiensis, or Homo luzonensis, or Homo naledi, it raises the possibility they might have left genetic traces as well. We only know those species from bones. If they ever met later humans, their DNA could still linger in descendant populations. In fact, this phenomenon is not limited to our ancestors alone. Even in our own bodies, we harbor surprises. A Stanford team analyzed all of the free-floating DNA in blood and found that a staggering 99% of the non-human fragments did not match anything in any database. Almost all of the bacterial and viral DNA they detected was completely new to science. Among these mystery sequences, they even identified entire new families of viruses infecting people but strikingly distant from any known strain. This means our microbiome is like a dark forest, teeming with undiscovered life. And each of us carries within us genetic material from species science has never cataloged. Putting it all together, our genomes are patchworks of known and unknown, written by human ancestors and microbes alike, some of whom we have never met or named. Could it be that every person today is a living archive of extinct relatives? Every chromosome might hold a clue to an ancient species lost to time. When scientists say our DNA contains genetic ghosts, they mean it literally. The evidence shows fragments from ancestors with no name, no fossils, no story, only their faint imprint in the code. We end on the most haunting thought. As genomic technology improves, more of these hidden chapters may emerge from our cells. What other extinct cousins lie sleeping in our DNA, waiting to be discovered? What untold tales are locked in our genes, whispering to us from the distant past?